Welcome to the Chopra Center University webinar, Passion and Purpose. I am your host, Libby Carstensen, along with my co-host, director of Chopra Center University, Teresa Long. Hi, Teresa.
Hello, and welcome to this webinar.
We're very excited for all of you joining us today from all over the globe to learn more about Chopra Center University, which is a amazing thing, which we're going to discuss and explore over the course of the next 45 minutes. But we really felt, Teresa and I were just talking just a moment ago, that the best way, I think, to enter into this journey together is to start by connecting through meditation. So we'd like to start our experience together with a meditation, a brief meditation. And first thing you want to do in meditation is get comfortable. So if you're listening to this webinar, for example, and you're doing some type of activity, whether it be, driving or be mindful of closing your eyes. But if you can get into really an opportunity to unplug, maybe turn your phone on silent, close the door, and just find a place that you can come into and we can connect together. So this might mean, kicking off your shoes, just getting comfortable in your chair, or if you can, maybe even in a seated position on the floor. And let's connect through stillness and silence. So let's start by joining in breath. We talk about breath in yoga, being prana or pranayam, so life force. So let's start by bringing the life force through with a deep inhale through the nose. And exhale with a sigh. Teresa, I'm not hearing you sigh. Okay, I heard her. All right, again, let's inhale through the nose. Exhale. And with your eyes closed, just connecting with the breath, the inflow and the outflow, inhaling and exhaling. Just bring awareness to the body, noticing right away when you bring attention to the body, if that allows you to start to relax and settle down, settle in. Notice where there's any areas of tightness or tension, and start to direct the breath to those areas. Beautiful. And now with the breath, the connection with the body, bringing your attention into your heart center, so the center of the chest. Each of us was led here today for some very important reason, whether it's to connect more deeply to passion and purpose, to learn more about the teachings at the Chopra Center, or just because we're curious and we're asking that question, what is my purpose? What is my Dharma? And so with attention in your heart, just allowing that intention, why you've come here today, to come up. And now inviting in gratitude. What am I grateful for? Bringing in one thing that you're truly grateful for. And notice how that feeling, maybe even feel it within your body, your physiology. Allow it to ripple from the crown of your head all the way out through your feet, your fingers. And now coming back to the heart, just begin silently repeating the mantra, so hum. So hum. As you inhale, think so, and as you exhale, hum. So hum. So hum. Just continue the repetition of the mantra. And if you become aware of a thought in the mind, a noise in the environment, or a sensation within the body, just come back to the mantra. So hum. So hum. We'll meditate here for just a few minutes. I'll watch the time. And when you hear the sound of my voice again, just continue sitting silently with your eyes closed. Enjoy. Aham Brahmasmi. I am the universe. Stop the repetition of the mantra So hum and continue sitting silently with your eyes closed. Allowing the stillness and the silence of the meditation to settle in. Begin to gradually deepen your breath, inhaling and exhaling. Feeling the exchange of energy as you draw breath in and as you exhale, letting go. Slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, now inviting movement back into the body. And just for a moment, really allow yourself to feel the others that have gathered from all over the globe to come together to share and learn more today. We're really stepping into being the change that we wish to see in the world. And it starts right here, right now. Taking a deep breath in, exhale. One more breath in, exhale. Bringing your hands to heart center, right at your chest, just really bowing to the divine within each and every one of us. Even though we can't see each other right now, we can hear and we can feel each other. And bowing and really wishing namaste. Namaste is a greeting in Sanskrit, which means the divine light in me acknowledges and sees the divine light in each and every one of you. And namaste.
Namaste.
And then coming back to center, allowing your eyes to float open. And really feeling that connection. I feel that. Thank you, Teresa. That was a really beautiful way to start our time here together.
Thank you, Libby.
Thank you.
Nice guided meditation. Hopefully that helps ground and center people as well before we begin.
So if you're just joining us, Teresa Long, Director of Chopra Center University, and my name is Libby Carstensen. I'm a Vedic Master at the Chopra Center and teach at all of our workshops. I'm also the director of sales here, so I get to help support, the thousands of people that come through the Chopra Center each year for different workshops and experiences and teacher trainings. And Teresa and I were really both called to really create this webinar to share more with you about Chopra Center University. And Teresa and I were speaking earlier today about Dharma. And can you just talk a little bit about, Dharma may be a kind of a new word or a new idea for many people. So Teresa, if you could share just a little bit more about Dharma.
Sure. So Dharma is a Sanskrit term that translates, there's a couple different translations, but one of the main translations is it's my purpose, or how you fulfill your day-to-day life activities and what place that you come from. So, we use the word Dharma, or what is my purpose in life. We're here with a lot of different roles that we play. So some of our roles that may be that, like Libby said, she's a Vedic master. That means she's completed the teacher trainings, but she's also director of sales. For myself, I'm director of Chopra Center University, and am a mother and a sister, and wife and friend, and we have all these different roles that we play. So Dharma is what the role that we play here, and just kind of really taking it to the next level. So knowing and fulfilling our personal goals and any achievement that we'd like to see, whether it's a professional goal or it's something, like you want to be a mother, being that really full parent in that role. So it's those roles, but you also want to take it to the next level is, how can I help and serve others as well? So fulfilling your own personal dharma and helping others. So after you kind of fulfill those personal goals, then you move on to moving away from what's in it for me into how can I help and serve others using my unique talents, my gifts, and how can that make a change in a life of somebody else, and just really help to make your community better from how you can serve.
And Teresa, what you were sharing too, Dharma, I think there's a misconception out there that it has to do with your job, your career, what I do to, make a living in this world. And I think we're seeing, especially here in the West, that return to purpose being, like you were saying, those roles that we play, being a mother, sister, friend, leader. And it's whatever you love to do. So when Teresa was sharing those unique gifts and talents, Dharma, we express Dharma when we're expressing our unique gifts and talents. Those things that you love to do, that when you do them, you lose time. Like, have you had that experience? Like, what would you say? What's something that you lose time when you do it?
I would say cooking. Like, I love to cook.
And I can say, too, that I'm happy that that's her Dharma because I benefit from that. She brings bliss to me when she expresses Dharma.
Definitely. Love that.
One of the things for me, Dharma is teaching. Like, I love teaching yoga. And I often have to have, when I'm teaching yoga, because most of the classes I teach are about 60 minutes, I have to have several clocks up because I lose time when I'm teaching. And, to me, it's like time loses its hold on you because you're in alignment with your true calling, your true purpose. And we find that many people who come to the Chopra Center discover that part of their Dharma is teaching, is sharing these tools. The Chopra Center was created by Deepak Chopra and David Simon as a way for people to come and learn to express Dharma, to come for healing, whether it be emotional or physical, stepping into and exploring spirituality. And it's just been amazing to see, just in the 7 short years that I've been here, how far the reach really goes because it's global. And I'm curious, Teresa, Chopra Center University, when Deepak Chopra and David Simon came together, like, how did Chopra Center University, how was that expressed? How was that birthed, so to speak? So the Chopra Center has been doing teacher training since about 1997,
1997, I want to say. And this is about the time that Deepak and David Simon, our co-founders, had, come to California to really put this together for the Chopra Center. And they have really seen that a lot of people could, come out to California specifically to learn some of the teachings that they were now teaching. And as you know, Deepak now has started traveling around the world to bring the teachings to all over the globe. He goes all around the world and spreads his teachings. And David Simon had did the same thing, doing guest speaking. But of course, they both wrote some amazing books, and so they spread that way. But they saw a need to continue that teaching and to teach people in person. It's like we can read books, but it's always good to be guided, when you're teaching or learning meditation or yoga, or the principles of Ayurveda, or, there's particular things that you really need a guide for. And they really saw the need for that. And so they created, with other Vedic scholars who are currently on our advisory board, other teachers in the area, other pioneers in these fields, to create these teacher trainings. And so they hold these teacher trainings that, which Libby will kind of go into a little bit more detail in just a moment here, and what the format of that. So you really get a really great background of the content, and then we, teach you how to teach these specific principles in your area. So again, they really saw a need to, because there were only 2 people and not able to travel around the whole world, and people weren't able to come here. So they, started offering these wonderful teacher trainings. And, the commitment is to really help people understand and integrate these teachings, into their own personal life. But then again, to also help people integrate those into their own life. And, really seeing that there's this really beautiful alignment where you find personal growth and deepening your knowledge. Now you have these tools to now share with people in your community in any way that you see fits into your schedule and how to teach these.
And Chopra Center University, I think when teaching, those of you, by the way, like by a raise of hands, we can't see you, but we can feel you. Who's a teacher out there? And also, everybody should be raising their hand, because we're all teachers. Whether we have the certification or not, we're teaching what we love. And for you, like Teresa, you were mentioning cooking. Maybe it's you teach cooking in a way. But I love this quote by Yogi Bhajan, which is, if you want to learn something, read about it. If you want to understand something, write about it. And if you want to master something, teach it. And I hear time and time again from graduates from Chopra Center University that, many people want to just learn more about yoga, but they find that in the process of learning yoga and learning how to teach yoga, that they become yoga. And yoga is, the definition is, yoga is union, mind, body, and spirit. And something really special happens when you teach others. And I love, too, that saying that when one person teaches, 2 people learn.
Yes.
Because I think, so much of what I've learned in my experience is from others, from others and through teaching others. And I was at Whole Foods this morning getting my acai bowl, and I had a conversation with the person who was making the acai bowl, and we were talking about experience. He's like, that's the only way you can get smart, right? He's like, it's through experience. Like, when you think about when you become when we have the hardest times in our lives, how we move through that and come out on the other side is we have this wealth of experience. And through that wealth of experience, we can share with others. So, another thing that when Teresa, when people come to Chopra Center University and they're like, I can't become a teacher. My life is a complete and utter mess. Or, I don't have the body for yoga, or my meditation practice, I have too many thoughts. Guess what? Your students, the people who want to learn from you, experiencing the same thing. But it's how you move through that, your learnings, your understandings, that will make you a great teacher. So don't let that be an obstacle. Chopra Center University, too, just kind of going through, what this is we were just mentioning that sometimes people go through to deepen their practice, but there's other things. So there's other reasons to become a teacher. So Teresa, can you just speak to, I love the idea of learn, share, teach, master. If you can just share a little bit more about that. If you can share a little bit more about that. And if you're just joining us, this is the Purpose and Passion webinar with Chopra Center University Director Teresa Long.
Great. Thank you, Libby. So we came up with this kind of a tagline of learn, share, teach, master, and as Libby was talking about, anything new that you're learning, anything new that you want to apply into your life, has to come with repetition and also becomes a practice. That's not something that, you're doing kind of here and there, but it's something that is consistent within your daily activities. And so learning, a lot of people do ask, why become a teacher? And as we were talking about that quote earlier, if you want to kind of know about something, you'll probably read about it, learn it. Again, a lot of people do attend the teacher trainings because they are wanting to go deeper into what they kind of learned from their foundations. So deepening your own personal practice and expand your own knowledge. And you definitely will be doing that, because a lot of times people want to get on the teacher's path or become a teacher because they now want to teach these modalities in their area. And they're going to find that they are deepening your own knowledge because of the content that they're studying, the information that they're learning. So you definitely, whether you're kind of seeking that deeper knowledge, you're definitely going to be receiving that as well. A lot of our teacher trainings, the content that you're learning, yes, you're learning those particular lessons to teach, primordial sound meditation or the 7 spiritual laws of yoga or the Ayurvedic lifestyle program, but you're also going deeper into the origins, into the content, and it's really developed that way. And then sharing, like helping your friends and family experience greater health and emotional well-being. And so what this means is, what you've learned and what you've put into your own practical daily practice is now that you're seeing the benefits in your own life and you want to share that with others. And people will ask you too if they see a shift in you, like what are you doing and what changes have you made and things like that. And so you're sharing your experiences, some of the shifts that you have been making. So you share that with them. And then again, once you become a certified teacher, you're able to then teach them these specific principles that you're sharing. And like Libby said as well too, whatever Dharma that you're doing. And then you're mastering that at the certification course. We help you prepare for the certification course. We help you, study. There's a lot of support in place before you come to the certification course. And that's where, yes, you are going to be tested and we're confirming that, you have the understanding of this knowledge that you're able to articulate these specific lessons. And then, obviously we graduate you. The Chopra Center, we do have, testing standards and things that that we want everyone to pass. So everyone, tests and has mastered this curriculum at the same level. And so this is really kind of breaking that down on, learning, sharing, teaching, and mastering. And this is anything that you put into your life that you're learning new. But we really just love this tagline here because it really is an appropriate way to, bring in these teachings.
And I've been teaching at the Chopra Center now I've been at the Chopra Center for 7 years. I came in as a program consultant, also as a recovering disc jockey. So my life, I like to talk about my life BC as being before Chopra. And before Chopra, I was working in the radio and entertainment industry. And, I was definitely one of those people when I came to the Chopra Center, my life was an utter mess. I had gotten so far off the map. There was no map. I was off-roading. And I can say without a doubt that these teachings, and more importantly, becoming a teacher has saved my life. And it's also made me a lot more enjoyable to be around, wouldn't you say?
Well, luckily I see this side of you, Libby, and yes, I definitely love what I see.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. But the reason I wanted to share that is, a lot of times, again, going back to people saying, who am I to teach? And I say, who are you not to teach? Because again, through our own life experience, we share with others. And I also had a lot of roadblocks on my path to becoming a certified teacher, because there was this idea of self-worth that came up of I'm not worthy, to share. But what I found is, in sharing, like many people will come to the training saying, I just want to deepen my practice. But as Teresa was saying, people notice the changes in you, however slight that they may be. Suddenly you move from being very reactive when things happen to maybe hesitating a little bit, taking a little bit more time and responding. Many people, when they go through the trainings, they'll end up physically looking different from, you start eating right for your dosha, your mind-body type. You automatically start kind of like shedding layers because you're in alignment with those practices, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I also want to share with you too is that, I think I use it as kind of like a sports analogy when you're, let's say, where Chopra Center is located at Omni La Costa, so I'll use golf as an example. If you're taking up, the game of golf, like, are you going to play, Teresa, this is a question for you. Are you going to play with the best player out there? Or are you going to play with somebody that you can beat every time? If you want to get better. Hopefully you play with the best player.
Well, I think I would have to get better before I can play the best player.
That's right.
Yeah, so definitely.
But wouldn't you say, though, playing with the best player is like that, you're going to up your game?
Well, right.
Right, yes, exactly.
Yeah, because you'll be learning from them.
Exactly.
Sure.
So the same thing with Chopra Center University. If, I think we really help people to be the best version of themselves, because there's an accountability that comes in where when you're going through the trainings and let's say you're studying to be a meditation teacher, you bet that you want to be practicing meditation twice a day, because that's what you're going to be teaching, and you want to be authentic as a teacher. Same way with the Perfect Health Ayurveda lifestyle training. If you're not eating right for your dosha and indulging in the desserts every single night, again, we do believe everything in moderation, but that's not going to feel right, because you're not going to be able to authentically share. So if you're ready to, really make a change, and really, I think we are one of the best out there doing what we do, because it's a global community. It's not just here at the Chopra Center. It's 1,800 teachers, and more than that, it's growing to be about 1 million people wide that are part of the Chopra Center global family. So you're joining a really powerful conversation. So I guess the next question is, when we take a look at, this idea of purpose and passion, and Teresa is mentioning this too, is there's a Latin proverb which is, learn as if you are going to teach, and by teaching you will understand. So again, just in that process of learning and then learning how to teach, like, amazing things happen. So the question is,
what do you want to understand?
So that's a good question, right? What do you want to understand? Because we do have 3 different teacher trainings here, and oftentimes that's the biggest question that people have is, I'm interested in all 3. Where do I get started? So I want to speak just a little bit about the 3 different trainings that we offer here, and we call them the 3 pillars. And the meditation and the type of meditation that we teach at the Chopra Center is primordial sound meditation. And it's a mantra-based meditation technique. It's very specific to you because your mantra is based off your birth information. So that's something that you will receive as part of going through the training. I also want to mention too, is that if through any of this conversation that Teresa and I are having right now, if you ever have any questions, you can ask us questions now, just typing in your questions. And this is for anyone who is online. So if you're joining us online, not via the phone, but actually online, you can type in your question. We're happy to address those as we move through. With the Primordial Sound Meditation teacher training, I mentioned you're learning to teach this mantra-based meditation technique. You'll learn the personal mantra instruction procedures, tools to support your meditation practice and your students, and then the being able to speak to meditation is one thing, but being able to really speak to what happens, as the benefits of meditation is a whole new world. We really teach you not only how to understand and articulate, but also the experiencing of higher states of consciousness. So, Teresa, if you can just speak to a little bit about going through the training, and then when people are certified as meditation teachers, what do you find that people are doing out in the world?
So we had just actually graduated about 75 people last week with our Primordial Sound Meditation teacher training, and something that we talk about at the teacher training, really helping you develop, the formatting of the classes, marketing of the classes, promotion, and we talk about too at the course, the opportunities where people can now take what they've gotten certified in into their communities. And so a lot of people, it's really kind of open to where you can teach meditation, because meditation's pretty popular now, like that word's really getting out there, kind of like yoga. But you can really take meditation in any kind of format, any kind of venue. We definitely tell our graduates, to do a little practice teaching first, and maybe just start with friends and family there, and then move into their communities. And a lot of people take the teacher trainings to complement what they're already doing. So some people may be yoga teachers and they have yoga studios. So now these yoga teachers are offering an additional service at their studio, and now teaching primordial sound meditation. We have school teachers that want to teach other school teachers, or now they want to teach their students some of these techniques, for just helping to, especially like elementary school kids, just to kind of help create that quiet time for teenagers and college students. It's more to help, really get focused, to find that focus, to get centered, and, definitely to manage stress. When you're a meditation teacher, you're also a stress management guide.
I have a question for you. So some people who may be joining us, maybe you who are listening right now, like the meditation that we did at the beginning of this webinar might have been the first time you've ever meditated. And if you had thoughts, I have to say, congratulations. That means you had a bona fide meditation, because thoughts are part of meditation. But it's when we start to find the space in between those thoughts, which we call the gap here, that space of, stillness and silence, that we start to experience the benefits. So can you just talk a little bit about like the benefits of meditation?
Yes, definitely. There's a lot of benefits in meditation. There's also been a lot of studies of the benefits of meditation. It helps to really normalize your breath. It helps to normalize blood pressure, and it helps to really kind of give you a moment to step away, from a reactive response. So it's not taking away stressful situations or things that we perceive as obstacles or struggles, but it's really giving you the tools to take on, moving past obstacles or moving past things that we perceive as struggles and finding the creative solution for it. So there's a lot of different benefits, definitely. Better sleep, better rest, more creativity, more compassion. For those that teach in the workplace as well, that's becoming also something very popular, because they're seen as employers are seen as their employees are meditating and taking better care of themselves, that there's less sick days, more productivity, again, more creativity, more of a way of bringing team building, just being more cohesive with creative ideas and solutions. So, there's an abundance of benefits that come from meditation that we see.
It's in Teresa Long, director of Chopra Center University. Meditation is. I loved what you were saying too. That I think a lot of times people think too that when you start practicing meditation and yoga that, oh my gosh, this is it. Like my life is just going to happen now and it's no stress. And like Teresa was saying, like if you're breathing, like stress is going to happen because while we can control what's going on in our inner environment, our extended body, our outer environment, we don't have control over. But what we do have control over, which is what Teresa mentioned, is the way that we respond. So what Teresa was saying too, we're seeing, as people are bringing this into the workplace, and a lot of our meditation teachers bring this into, a corporate environment. Just the cohesiveness, the communication improving between employees, and you will notice it too as you engage in the teacher training that your family just loves you even more because it's this very subtle thing but very powerful thing that happens as a result. So we'll teach you, how to teach those special groups, and the primordial sound meditation is, that's definitely the foundation for everything that we do. So we find that many people start there. Perfect Health is our Ayurveda certification. So the Perfect Health certification is based off of the content, the curriculum from Deepak's best-selling book, Perfect Health, which if you don't have it, please get it. It will change your life. You get to explore and identify your mind-body personality or your dosha. So we all have this very special mind and then also body type. And there's certain practices, certain lifestyle practices that we can use to bring ourselves back into balance. So from using food as medicine, I mean, Teresa, you're so passionate about cooking, and, you and I have this conversation a lot about how people don't, sometimes people think as food as fuel, or like I'm hungry, I need to eat, but like food can be medicine. Can you just speak to that a little bit?
Yes, definitely. So in the Perfect Health teacher training, and part of that is also going to our Journey into Healing seminar, which we'll talk about in just a moment, but we do go a little bit deeper and really break down, the nutritional facts and the properties of food. We definitely talk a little bit more about bringing more of a plant-based diet into your daily diet, just because you'll get more phytochemicals that way. But there's a lot of herbs that are also sustaining, to helping your immune system, also just giving some more vitality. So when I talk to people about, what kind of foods that they're eating, it's, wanting to eat foods that count, so really eating more fresh foods, more vegetables that have more vitality, or prana, have all those really, vitamins and minerals and fiber and all those, those properties to really help us, feel really good. You'll find, when you eat something that may be a little bit more heavy, or maybe not as fresh or vital, as opposed to something that is a little bit more, that has more live vitamins and minerals in it, and just, really seeing how you feel. And, I always tell people, maybe even keep a little diary of what you're eating and how you feel afterwards, because it's important how we're digesting. But ultimately what we're eating always ends up on how we feel later. If you're eating some foods that are a little bit more heavier, then you're going to feel a little bit more sluggish. Right? If you're eating foods that are a bit more lighter, a little bit more nutrient packed, you definitely have a little bit more energy as well. And we really break that down at the Journey into Healing event, but also during the teacher training, because that's also too when people come to the Perfect Health classes, a lot of it is asking, what are the best foods to eat and why?
Yeah, nutrition. And we're going to, Teresa mentioned Journey into Healing, and that's one of the prerequisites for the teacher training. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. And if food or nutrition is something you're really passionate about, we have such an amazing course for you. It's happening in March. It's called Journey into Healing. Special theme is called What Are You Hungry For?, which is all about, we all hunger for something, and that doesn't necessarily need to be food, but whether it's passion or vitality. And so I'm really excited about this journey into healing, but we'll talk about that in just a moment. So the Ayurveda Perfect Health, lifestyle certification, which Teresa, was just sharing more about the food as medicine component, it really is, it's all encompassing. So Ayurveda is this natural healing system, that originated in India, which goes into, again, from, yoga, meditation, understanding based off of our dosha, what colors, what smells, what time of day, all of these practices that are specific to our mind-body type. It's a whole new world by not only learning this for yourself, but then bringing it into a part of the teacher training. And this is also the curriculum that we teach in our 6-day program, Perfect Health, which happens weekly at the Chopra Center. So you're learning how to teach our core wellness program, Perfect Health. The other certification I wanted to mention is the 7 spiritual laws of yoga. So this is our yoga certification, which is, oftentimes people will say, well, how is this different from any other yoga certification out there? And I'll say, well, where do I start? But the 7 spiritual laws is based off of Deepak Chopra and David Simon's best-selling book, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Yoga, which takes the principles from the 7 spiritual laws of success and applies them to yoga, and that each day, so there's 7 days in the week. Everybody clear on that? We all know that? And every day has a different principle that we practice, part of the 7 spiritual laws. And so you learn how to bring these principles into the actual asana practice. So there's so much intention there. We also have mantras that correspond with which each of the specific yoga days and yoga sessions, along with, it's a very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? All-encompassing yoga certification, because you're getting the basis in meditation, also Ayurveda, the philosophy of yoga. We teach you the business of yoga. So I think the mistake many yoga teachers make out there is there's some amazing yoga teachers, but then when it comes to telling people you teach yoga, the business of yoga, marketing your classes, that's where they're not as well versed, and we teach you how to do that. And we're also a Yoga Alliance 200-hour compliant program. So this is really important when you're looking for certifications. So those are our 3 pillars: meditation, Ayurveda, and yoga. So now that we've shared with you, the many different paths, the next question we have is, how do I get started? So as questions are coming in, that's like, okay, it's great. I've done my research on the website. I just want to know what's next. So we talked a little bit about Journey into Healing, which is our mind-body workshop, exploring Ayurveda, and then also Seduction of Spirit, which is our week-long meditation retreat. And I want to talk just a little bit about Seduction of Spirit for just a few minutes, because we've got still quite a bit to cover here. So I want to make sure we get to just all the juicy stuff that you're wanting to learn more on. But music and meditation, and those of you that are with us online, or if you're just listening by phone, you can also go to chopra.com and click on Seduction of Spirit to learn more. And music and meditation is a special theme for Seduction of Spirit, which is coming up November 3rd through the 9th, which we still have a few spaces available for. And this is a unique workshop in that you're learning primordial sound meditation, so you're receiving your personal mantra, but you're also receiving the sutra meditation technique, and this is taught by Deepak Chopra only at Seduction of Spirit. So Teresa, can you speak just a little bit about what makes this sutra meditation technique so special and why we only get that at Seduction of Spirit?
Well, Seduction of Spirit, Chopra Center has been doing Seduction of Spirit for many years, maybe up to like 18 years. So this is definitely one of our core events. And when you come to Seduction of Spirit, if you haven't learned the Primordial Sound Meditation technique, you definitely are taught that here. And then we go a little bit deeper. Seduction of Spirit is really our immersion into meditation and also into the 7 spiritual laws of yoga. So this is a really good foundation. And this is one of the reasons why it's one of the parts for the teacher trainings, because this is really the beginning of your training. So it's not separate, even though we have our separate certification weeks. Seduction of Spirit, Journey into Healing are part of your study. So you're going deeper into the study of the higher states of consciousness that Deepak leads. The sutra practice is really important because we're teaching you about energy centers and chakras and really how to open those and really get the most benefit and potential from those. And then the sutra practice really helps to open that up. Sutra practice all in its own really helps to bring about and come alive the 7 spiritual laws of success. And that's something else that is really focused on at Seduction of Spirit, not only meditation, yoga, but we talk about the law of the day from the 7 spiritual laws of success book by Deepak. And so you add all those things together and you have this amazing event. And so, again, Seduction of Spirit really is one of our foundational events, but very important for helping you prepare for the teacher training. This is also your time to study with Deepak for the teacher trainings as well.
So when you say study, does that mean like Deepak and I are studying on breaks during sessions? Like he's going to be quizzing me. There'll be highlighters and things involved.
Well, if you want to be quizzed, we can always quiz people. But no, this is your time, like in a group setting with Deepak. Definitely there is time for our questions. Mm-hmm. So we always invite people to ask questions when that's available in the group setting at Seduction of Spirit. But this is where he is teaching you in this group setting, mm-hmm. Talking about and guiding you on learning this deeper meditation practice, but also this content as well. And then, of course, we have our wonderful guest speakers and master mm-hmm. educators during Seduction of Spirit, who most of them have done the teacher trainings as well. And they're also guiding you in the law of the day, the meditation, and the yoga, and also there as a support.
So Teresa was mentioning the 7 spiritual laws of success, and we talked about that too in the 7 spiritual laws of yoga teacher training. And each day has a different principle. So you'll learn all of these principles and how the practical application. Because I've been to a lot of different retreats, yoga workshops and meditation workshops, and what I found is I had an amazing experience for that week, but it was more about the experience. I wasn't leaving with okay, what's the practical application? What tools can I bring home and put into practice? And I think that's also what's different about the Chopra Center and our workshops is that you have the experiencing, but then you also have this toolkit that you can take home with you. So it's not just what happens at the workshop, but by being at the workshop, learning at the workshop, like Teresa was mentioning, studying with Deepak, how that translates and just changes your world. So Seduction of Spirit, very important first step on the teacher's path. And even if you're like, man, I'm just not ready to commit to the full training yet, many people just go step by step. So you start with Seduction of Spirit. And I mentioned the November 3rd through the 9th date at Omni La Casa Resort and Spa because that's the next available, which we do still have a few spaces available. But then I also wanted to mention the other dates that we have for 2014. And we have special guest speakers at each of our events and special themes. So I wanted to share this with you as this is brand new information. Discover your purpose and passion is the theme for April 6th through the 12th. And we have Caroline Mays, who's one of our special guests, along with Byron Katie. She'll be doing the work. And also Eddie Stern. So we started with a little pranayama in our meditation today, and Eddie Stern will be bringing in a lot of pranayama at the Seduction of Spirit. August 3rd through the 9th in Toronto, we will be, it's the global meditation event of the year, so we're looking to go worldwide with this August date. And then November 2nd through the 8th is Creating Abundance with special guests Marianne Williamson and also Martha Beck. And so that's our final date next year, November 2nd through the 8th. If you want more details on Seduction of Spirit, you can visit Chopra.com and find all of the dates and all of our special guest speakers. I also wanted to mention, we talked about Seduction of Spirit being one of the first prerequisites. Second prerequisite is Journey into Healing. And this is the Ayurveda Mind-Body Workshop, where what are you hungry for? This is the theme for the date in March, the 6th through the 9th. Our special guest is Andrew Weil, which Amazing. We are very excited about. So excited to, hear what he has to share about nutrition. I mean, he really just all-encompassing, the best of the West meets this Eastern perspective of Ayurveda. So what are you hungry for is the theme for our next Journey into Healing in March, where you'll learn how to use food as medicine. You'll learn emotional healing techniques, herbal medicine. This is also great for physicians and healthcare practitioners as we offer CME credits. So Journey into Healing, Seduction of Spirit. Anyone who's thinking about the teacher's path, this is where you start, because again, you're getting grounded in meditation and also Ayurveda. Now, Perfect Health, we mentioned, I had a question. It was like, what was the great life-changing book that you mentioned? We actually mentioned 3 books that I want to share with you. The first one is Perfect Health by Deepak Chopra. The second book is The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, also by Deepak. And then the third book is The 7 Spiritual Laws of Yoga by Deepak Chopra and David Simon. So for anyone who is thinking about the teacher's path and wants to learn a little bit more about these teachings in the Chopra Center perspective, these 3 books would really support you. Perfect Health, the 6-day program at the center. This is the additional prerequisite for the Perfect Health Ayurveda teacher training only. So if you're thinking about doing the meditation or the yoga training, Perfect Health is not a prerequisite, but if you're thinking about doing the Perfect Health Ayurveda lifestyle training, attending the 6-day Perfect Health program at the center is required. And I'm sorry to say, Teresa, part of the requirement for the 6-day Perfect Health is receiving 6 days of consecutive Ayurvedic massage treatments. Can you handle that?
I can, and I think most people would love that.
So it's important that we feel that you experience the week-long program that we teach at the center, because you're learning to teach that as well. So we have just a few more minutes here that we want to share. We've talked a lot about really the philosophy behind Chopra Center University. Many people, their inspiration in becoming a teacher. And then we've just now started talking about how to get started, which is attending Seduction of Spirit, the meditation piece, Journey into Healing, which is the Ayurveda workshop. And then after these 2 prerequisites, what we find is that many people are very clear on what certification do they want to, embark on first. Teresa, we were talking about many people seem to start with either primordial sound meditation or yoga, but that doesn't mean you can't start with Perfect Health, right?
Right. There's actually kind of depends on your background. A lot of people do start with Perfect Health, and it's usually people that have, an interest in health or in Ayurveda. But yeah, it doesn't. You can start with any of the teacher trainings, and I just want to clarify there are 3 separate teacher trainings, so you don't have to take the meditation to take the yoga. So you can start anywhere. You can take any one of them as well.
And then when you decide, so if you're feeling inspired, whether it's meditation, yoga, or Ayurveda, the next step is, after you've completed the prerequisites, is completing your application and enrollment form. And you'll find that actually at Chopra.com. If you visit CCU, you can actually download the application and the enrollment form. And you might want to do that anyway, just to, gather more information. We're also here to answer questions. And we also have, as part part of the First Look CCU launch of 2013 special package pricing when you enroll by October 31st. So this pricing you can also find online at chopra.com. And when you make payment in full, you receive your home study kit. So make payment in full, you receive your home study kit, and then you can get started studying. When you have your home study kit, Teresa, her amazing team at Chopra Center University, calls you to go over all the contents in the home study kit. And then the way the training works out is prerequisites, seduction of spirit, journey into healing. You get the home study kit, and then about how many hours of self-study or home study would you say there is per training?
I think per training, the perfect health and the 7 spiritual laws of yoga, there's definitely more study time there. I'd say probably good over 100 hours of study because you're reading the books. Mm-hmm. And also with the meditation, that's probably about 80 hours of study. But you're reading the books. You're also doing webinars as well, too. So we have that in place to help you prepare for the certification course. So that's we consider that study hours preparation for the certification course. And then you're, comprehending the information. You are, there are some tests to do before the certification course, but then you're also putting together your presentations to help you prepare for being evaluated at the certification course. So there's a time commitment to it. We do help you try to figure out the study schedule. We have a lot of study support and tools in place to help you, accomplish that study before the certification course.
And then many people are asking too, some of the questions coming up, like when we're at the training, so just kind of taking you through the process again. You've done the prerequisites, you filled out the application, you've enrolled in the certification, and we'll talk about the weeks here in just a moment. But then you're doing some home study, whether that's reading books, watching DVDs, listening to the webinars, and then you come for your actual certification week. And the schedule, which we have if you're watching with us online, each day with any Chopra Center workshop, we start with yoga and meditation. I mean, what a way to start your day and to end your day. And then in between there, we have all of the content. So when you're actually at the certification week, you'll be seeing lessons presented by our master educators, but then you also get into, Teresa was saying, into these smaller groups where you're sharing your own presentations with your peers in smaller groups. And I think that's actually one of the parts of the training that people enjoy most, because you learn so much from the other participants, right?
Yes, definitely. It's definitely a big part of the teacher trainings is when you're seeing, the other people that are in the training with you, your classmates, present some of the main points or teach the yoga, because you really are there to support each other, but you're also seeing how other people present. So then you can take those ideas and put them into your own presentations. And, it's just definitely a big part, but that's that practice part of it as well. Before you come to certification, you're practice teaching, but then again, you're also doing some more practice teaching at the certification too, and really bringing that all together.
It's amazing. And I want to also share just the upcoming dates that we have for the teacher trainings. So we offer the meditation teacher training twice a year. The next available date is coming up in April, the 22nd through the 28th, and then in October, the 13th through the 19th. Both of these dates take place at Omni La Costa Resort here in Carlsbad, which is where the Chopra Center is located. We've had a few questions too. People, I'm so excited. There's people joining us from all over the globe. They're like, I'm all the way. You name it. We've got people from New Zealand, from Ireland. Hello, by the way, online with us saying, if I can travel, what can I do? So can you speak just a little bit to that?
If you're not able to come out to the Chopra Center, you can definitely seek teachers in your area. We do have about 1,800 teachers worldwide. So, you can go to choprateachers.com to that website, and you can see if there are any teachers in your area. Again, it will only show up there are teachers in your area. So if you're not able to come to the Chopra Center, even though we highly encourage you to come and visit us out here, then you can learn primordial sound meditation from somebody who's taking the teacher trainings, and they can teach you the primordial sound meditation.
So that's a great way to get started. Right now, we do not have an online training for our Chopra Center certified instructors. A big part of the experience is being here and being with Deepak and being with your peers who are having this experience. So many people who are, halfway across the globe, it could be like a 3 to 4 to 5 year process in getting certified. But it's in that, again, just to use like it's like that the journey is the destination, and you've arrived. So we continue to just extend that global reach. And Teresa was mentioning, we have certified teachers all over the globe. We'll show you how to find the one in your area here in just a moment, but that's also a great way to get started. The Perfect Health certification we also do twice a year. The next upcoming date is in January, the 27th through February 2nd. Enrollment is just about ready to close for this certification. It will close on October 31st, but never fear, we have a summer date, June 30th through July 6th. And again, that's here at Omni La Costa Resort in Carlsbad, California. The 7 Spiritual Laws of Yoga training is in 2 parts. So there's a part A and a part B. So it's a 2-week training. July 21st through the 27th is part A. And then you'll do your home study and come back in November 17th through the 23rd for part B. And then after that part B, you are a certified yoga teacher taking your yoga off the mat and out into the world. And then just as we close today, in fact, Teresa and I are talking about ways, we could literally have a day-long training on what is Chopra Center University, where can I teach, how can I teach, and what happens after I'm certified. But right now, again, we want to give you just enough to hopefully inspire you to reach out to the Chopra Center to learn more. But we'd like to close with just sharing that when you are a certified teacher, what happens? So the support, and again, I think this is what sets the Chopra Center apart from any other training out there, is that it's not just about the process in becoming certified and when you graduate, but it's what happens after that. The support that we offer our certified teachers is above and beyond the best that I have seen anywhere. We offer you ongoing learning. So we have monthly instructor webinars where you get to learn from our CCU advisory board, from Deepak Chopra to Vamadeva Shastri, Dr. Suhas, Claire Diab, Roger Gabriel, Brent Beckfar. These are all of our master teachers and part of our advisory board that support you with ongoing learning. We also have in our webinars, marketing best practices, teaching tips. And then also from the instructor webinars, we mentioned the CCU advisory board, we also have an online teacher resources page. So this page, and again, we could spend an hour on this just alone with how much content there is here, but this resource page has all the materials for marketing your classes. So we set you up with brochures, flyers. You get to use the Chopra Center logo. So you're a Chopra Center certified teacher.
Actually, we do create a Chopra Center instructor
logo. Yes. Very important. Chopra Center instructor logo. So just so we're clear, I'm from Iowa, so if anybody's listening from Iowa, we can't open a Chopra Center in Des Moines, Iowa. But what you can do is open up your own, whether it's yoga, meditation, or Ayurveda lifestyle center, and really share that you are a Chopra Center certified instructor. And we, again, 1,800 all across the globe, we have certified instructors. But you have these logos, business cards, lots of materials. We also have a commission and referral program where you can actually earn bonuses by referring students, friends, and family to the Chopra Center, which is an amazing thing. But you have this online teacher resources page, which is available to you after you complete your certification. And then we also have monthly newsletters. So, you're receiving communications from Chopra Center University about how many times would you say a month? Every day? No.
If you are on the teacher's path, and that means you're enrolled into one of our teacher trainings, we will be sending you quite a bit of correspondence just because we're helping you prepare for the certification course. But we do send out, we have a specific Chopra Center University newsletter that's for just designated for people on the teacher's path and for certified teachers. So there's something in place, and we do have specific topics, but it's more on content about teaching, so we go a little bit more advanced content in meditation, yoga, and Ayurveda, and then also about best practices in promoting your classes. So we always have several times a year, maybe up to about 4 or 5 times a year, about how to promote your classes, how, so it's more on the marketing or business side of how to bring your classes into your community.
That's important too. Like if you're going through spending the time, the effort, the resources, that we really want you, now that you're the certified teacher, to let people know that you are there in the community ready to share and learn. And, another thing too, I'm just curious, I know there's, when you're on the teacher's path, there's ongoing support, there's, webinars, and then most people, like when you enroll for the certification, so I've completed seduction and journey into healing. Now and that's your next step, by the way. After you've completed seduction and journey, you can sign up for the certification. That was another question we had. And by the way, congratulations. You're on your next step on the teacher's path. But Teresa, how would you say, like, when I enroll for the certification, how much time do I have to complete that certification from the time that I enroll for the certification week?
We do have a time limit on there because we would like you to kind of really stay within that kind of that focus of, and also just recently completing, seduction of spirit and journey into healing. You do have to take having to take those courses at least within 3 to 5 years of enrolling for the teacher's training, just because that information should be, somewhat
keep it fresh
and current. Also, so you do have about up to 18 months to complete certification. We do allow up to 24 months, especially some people who are international because you are coming out for seduction of spirit, journey into healing, and again for the teacher training. And maybe if you're doing perfect health, you have to come out another time, and for yoga as well. So it could be up to 24 months, and it usually does take people about that amount of time to complete.
From start to finish? Yeah. And, what Teresa was saying, too, is a really good point, and I know this from experience, is that, a lot of times people will sign up for a certification week, and then, they feel that life is busy, things are just happening, and, I need to move my date. I got to tell you, when you step onto the teacher's path, you commit to that certification week, do whatever you can to stay there, because life is going to continue to happen. And by learning these teachings, moving through it, you can learn to respond in a different way. And you don't want to put off tomorrow, like what you can do and teach today. So that's just a really important, not only like, again, even that keeping current and fresh, but it's like you're in that flow, you're in that connection, and you don't want to anything longer than that. 3 years. Like, do you remember what you were doing 3 years ago?
Not to this date, I don't remember.
But stay connected with that. And then when you are certified, we help you stay current with the newsletters. Your information. This is great. Again, this is what sets us apart. When you are a certified teacher, choprateachers.com. And for those of you wanting to find a teacher in your community, this is where you need to go. choprateachers.com. You can search by country. You can search by, a mile radius to see who is a teacher in your area. And when you are certified, we list your information here. And if you want to go one step further, you can also be a featured teacher. And this is where the best of the best Vedic masters, people who are who are out there teaching in their community, wanting to be one of our featured teachers. So featured teachers on choprateachers.com, we talked about the referral program, and then the other bonus is you get special pricing on all of our Chopra Center workshops as a certified instructor. So a lot happens not only before the training, but when you're certified. So you may be wondering right now, what is your next step? And I think we answered a lot of the questions here. Are there any other questions that we might want to answer? So if you do, and I know there's questions out there that maybe it would be best if you were speaking with one of our dedicated program consultants, you can actually call a program consultant to learn more about the teacher's path or any of the prerequisites. The local number is 760-494-1639, and you can speak with a program consultant who can, really understand what it is you're looking for and support you on your next step. And then we do have that special First Look CCU special package pricing, and that's available through October 31st. Chopra.com has more information on that package pricing and the details. And then again, I encourage you, see how many other people you have in your community that may already be certified. And, I love being around like-minded people. And I think that's really what we're doing here at the Chopra Center, is creating, really that community of like minds as we get to come together. And I giggle if you're joining us online. We have a picture here of all of our certified teachers. We get together with our certified teachers during all of our workshops, typically on the first or second day. And this was a recent gathering, I think, from Seduction of Spirit. And you know how they have those maps when you go into the mall and there's a little X and it's like, you are here. So somewhere in there's a little X and you are here. This is really an invitation, on behalf of Teresa and myself and, Deepak Chopra and everyone here at the Chopra Center to join the Chopra Center global community. Really step up and become that best version of yourself. Really step into Dharma, into purpose, if this is your purpose. And, there's a Chinese proverb, which is, I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand. And I think by becoming a teacher, stepping on the teacher's path, that's where you really have that experience of understanding. So, Teresa, do you have, as we really went through a lot here, do you feel like you have a comprehensive understanding, or at least a start, to Chopra Center University?
I definitely, yes, I hope that we help to kind of break down exactly, how to get started on the teacher's path and what the teacher's path means, because, we get a lot of those questions every day. We do invite you to check out our website at chopra.com /CCU and our main page there. We definitely have the syllabus for all of our teacher training. So if you want to know exactly, who's teaching there, how to get started, what's included in the homesteading materials, what you'll be tested on. The syllabus is a great place to start. There's also some wonderful frequently asked questions there. Talks about the process, kind of what we recapped here, but goes a little bit more into detail there. We also have we have a couple of videos on our main page where we had a video contest with one of our instructors, and she's sharing, her experience on the teacher's path and what she's doing with it. You can see where she's teaching, has some students in there, and just kind of gives her background. And, I think testimonials are really, really powerful. And the benefit that she's seen there too. Also, as Libby had mentioned, finding a teacher in your area on choprateachers.com, because most of our teachers do have ongoing workshops or retreats that you can join. Even if you want to just join a group meditation, most of our teachers do hold those on a regular basis. And choprateachers.com we really promote in a lot of different places, because we really want people in that community to find a teacher in their area or to find the source of these teachings. If there's not a teacher in your area, we invite you and encourage you to be that teacher in your area. We just had somebody, one of our teachers in Dubai.
Wow.
There wasn't a teacher there. She's our first teacher. So that's always really so wonderful to see when it actually happens at almost every teacher training that there's a teacher in a place in the world where there wasn't a teacher.
Yeah.
Now they become that. So we definitely invite you to check out the website for more information. We are here to commit, making that commitment to you to help fulfill your own personal practice, helping to bring these teachings to others, and really helping to seek your Dharma and to fulfill that purpose.
And Teresa was mentioning, too, you can reach out to us. I mentioned the local number, 760-494-1639, and then the toll-free number, which is 888-736-6895. And you can also find all this information by heading to chopra.com. And we could keep on talking, but we can't. Come to a workshop and we'll talk for hours and hours. But we really hope that, this was a great experience for you from the meditation that we experienced in the very beginning, to where we are now. It's really been a journey. Going back to what we were talking about in the very beginning, which is really stepping into Dharma or purpose. And we see people, we hear from people every day at the Chopra Center that are they're wanting to change their community. They're wanting to change the world. And here's the thing, it starts within. And, Gandhi, I believe, said it best, when he said, be the change that you wish to see in the world. And then fall in love with you, and the whole world can't help but follow suit. So if we start there, we'll notice that ripple effect that just goes around the globe and back. So we look forward to seeing you at a Chopra Center workshop soon, connecting with a Chopra teacher in your area, or participating in the 21-day meditation experience, which is coming up in November. So many ways for us to stay connected. I want to thank Teresa Long, Director of Chopra Center University, for joining us. Thank you, Teresa.
Thank you for having me, Libby, and thanks for hosting this and guiding everyone in this process.
So we look forward to seeing you soon. Have a blessed day. Namaste.
Namaste.